Welcome to Unlock Your Retirement, powered by the Wealthcare Investment Center. We believe that investing in knowledge pays the best interest, especially when it comes to your retirement. On this program, our team of elite advisors will share a wide range of unique and powerful strategies designed to maximize your retirement finances and help you create a life of purpose and fulfillment. The time to unlock your ideal retirement is now. Let's get started.
Hello and welcome to Unlock Your Retirement. My name is Bruce Smith and I'm here with my father, Bruce Smith, and also Christopher Heister. Today we're going to talk about 9 mistakes that could derail a retirement. And if you'd like to follow along, you can download our eGuide at unlockretirees.com. There's a lot of great information on there that will give you a little bit more insight into some questions that you might need to be asking yourselves, putting together a little bit more of a comprehensive plan leading into retirement. A lot of the concerns that are brought forth today are things that we've actually gotten from our clients in the past. And a lot of the questions that we are basically posed with every single day of our lives. A lot of the concerns that people have and a lot of the questions that are brought to our show are real world examples of what can derail one's retirement. So today we're going to jump into this with both feet here. I'm going to pose the first question to my dad, Bruce. What's the biggest mistake that retirees face?
I think the biggest mistake that people make is not having a real assessment of where they are today and what does it look like into the future, throughout their retirement years, which could be, 10, 20, 30 or more years of retirement. I think the biggest concern that people have is outliving their savings, outliving the money they've accumulated, the wealth they've accumulated for retirement. I want to kind of digress once here. You talk about people can go to unlockretirees.com today to get their eGuide. So basically, not only do you have the eGuide, but there's also an audio book. There's also 9 additional downloads available to you, frequently asked questions. I think one of the most important ones I like is there's a checklist. So if you are retired and you want to make sure that you're avoiding these non-mistakes, there's a really handy checklist in there you can download. But again, all of this is available to you at no cost. All you have to do is go to unlockretirees.com, and that's go to that website, download. All we ask you for, very simply, is your name, your phone number, and your email address. And we're not gonna bug you. We're not gonna spam you. But I think you're gonna find it to be a great resource. And you're gonna have these throughout our shows going forward. So we'll always have resources available to you. But I think, Bruce, outliving your savings is the biggest concern that most people have. And how do you know if you're gonna outlive your savings if you haven't really stress tested your retirement and looked at the impact, not just how much the money you need for spending money, but the impact of taxes, the impact of volatile markets, the impact of unforeseen expenses, especially healthcare. So a lot of different things there.
Okay. I'm going to pass the next one to Chris. I mean, what's another mistake that you constantly see with retirees making?
Yeah, I think it's no longer the mystery it was maybe, a year or two ago, and that's ignoring inflation. Every year costs are going up. So if you start out your retirement, $50,000 a year in expenses 10 years ago isn't going to buy you the same amount that it's going to buy you today. Every time I go into the grocery store.
Oh, God. I knew that was coming.
My wife does a bulk of the grocery shopping, so I only get sent in occasionally and, about once every 6 weeks, and I get less and less every time I come out the door or spend more and more to get the same stuff when I have to make the pickups. So not including that in your initial planning, or even if you're taking a second look at your planning, if you've been retired for a few years and, are kind of questioning, hey, am I on track? If you didn't include that inflation adjustments to your expenses when you first built your plan, that could really derail you. Even at a 3% inflation over 20 years of retirement, things are going to cost a heck of a lot more, later on.
Okay. All right, so we have outliving your savings and obviously ignoring inflation, which are the silent killers. We're also looking into healthcare costs. What do you see for that, Chris?
I just saw a recent study. Healthcare costs in retirement could cost a single person up to or over $165,000 during their lifetime. So you got, multiple things you need to worry about there. Whether you're looking at Medicare, whether you're looking at, long-term care or just regular prescription costs, supplements, and things like that. Not consider that, a six-figure expense. That could really go a long way to affecting your retirement. And I also just kind of wanted to touch base too. This guide we're referencing today, it was created exclusively for, our pre-retirees and our pre-retirees, our retirees with debt, early retirees. So if you left your job early, if you left your job early, these things we talked about in the first 3 steps are really going to be, stressing you because you're talking a longer retirement. Also, unprepared spouses, we oftentimes see one spouse or another may or may not be involved in a retirement plan or as involved. Late savers and widows and widowers and tax-sensitive retirees, all these groups of people, are who we put this guide together for. So again, if you go to that Unlock Retirees, especially if you're in one of those groups or any of our listeners, it's a great resource to go to.
Okay, thank you. And Dad, just to kind of piggyback on top of what Chris just said, what are we really seeing as far as long-term care costs in addition to healthcare costs, basically?
Long-term care is the great hidden cost out there that, we don't know, first of all, how significant is it going to be, or is it going to be significant? It is a total unknown because we don't really know what our health care is going to look like later in life. But the statistics are very clear on this, that today about 1 out of every 2 retirees will have some kind of a long-term care event where, you're going to either have a stay for a short period of time or a long period of time in a care facility that has care that is very costly. It can be on magnitudes of $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a month, especially if you're in an advanced dementia unit. And, and it's not just the cost of the monthly being at that facility, but all the other ancillary costs that go with it. So, this makes a big dent in a lot of people's retirement accounts, which is why we're big advocates of, having a comprehensive plan that how do I maximize the value that I get long-term out of my retirement assets? And a lot of times you can find, through tax savings, through maybe smarter risk management, looking at these things is having some additional capital available to offset those unforeseen costs, because long-term care can really totally wreck a retirement.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And as we continue through these different mistakes that are out there to derail a retirement, the consistent view that we always give is, basically sitting down and having a full comprehensive outlook of where you're at, and basically outlining what all these potential problems are. These are the pitfalls that can completely wreck a retirement, and we've seen it happen in a lot of cases where people do not take these things into consideration whenever they sit down. A lot of plans don't take these into consideration whenever they're being brought forth. So we want to make sure that we're always prepared, and just more information is going to be better for everyone. All right. The next section we do want to talk about is basically just supporting children. So I'm going to pass this one over to my father.
I like how he did that.
Yeah.
Supporting children. Hey, Dad.
Yep.
This is a thorny subject whenever you're talking to people about retirement. But our society has changed, and it's between children that have issues in life, or divorces, or even the early death of a spouse. We see that a lot of children are returning home, or they're looking to their parents now to subsidize their lifestyle because of whatever factors that have not worked out. And it is an expense. When you look at retirement, you've got to look at the cost of what it takes to provide the lifestyle for you and your spouse, if you're married, but also if you're providing for other people, you've got to factor that in. And whenever that's one of the hardest things in our job as professional advisors. When you're a wealth manager and you're building a comprehensive plan, and you want to make sure you take all these things into account, and then you build in these other expenses for taking care of adult children, or subsidizing or helping adult children, or maybe even grandchildren, and you find out that this is another big hole in your retirement where it's eating up your capital dollars. So we have a lot of people that want to do a lot of things, But when you add up the price tags for everything, it can get rather salty. It's almost like looking at the accessories on a new car. I mean, you can't believe new car prices. It's just terrible. But but the thing is that, if you look at the guys that you see on the screen, if you're watching this on YouTube or if you're listening to us, each one of us individually has over 20 years of experience here at Wealthcare. So this is not somebody new to the game. We've seen a lot of the scenarios, but we've committed to our clients and to the people out there that become clients that we want to start with a clean sheet of paper, and how do we get the maximum value out of your assets? And in doing so, can we bring that significant additional value to what you're doing now? That's what we do, and we do very well at Wealthcare. And if you'd like to have a consultation with us, we offer 20-minute complimentary consultations on a phone call or as a quick Zoom meeting to start. And you can always give us a call at 888-888-5601. That's 888-888-5601. Or visit discoverunlock.com, and you can actually schedule right there. You'll see what times available, what slots are available on our schedule, and schedule that 20-minute call. No obligation. We'll talk about what you want to talk about. But you can also get everything we're talking about on today's show so far at unlockretireesplural.com. So, and I think that's what we have going into the next segment. Next segment is going to be pretty power-packed with a lot of stuff for mistakes we want to make sure you're not making that'll derail your retirement. We'll be right back with Unlock Your Retirement.
Thank you for joining us on Unlock Your Retirement, powered by the Wealthcare Investment Center. Ready to take the next step? Download your free ebook at unlockfreebook.com and learn how to reduce market risk, lower your retirement taxes, and maximize your lifetime retirement benefits. For expert guidance, connect with one of Wealthcare's elite advisors by calling 888-888-5601 or visit unlockyourretirement.com. Don't miss our next episode of Unlock Your Retirement, where your financial future takes center stage.
And now the part that the attorneys love.
Fee-based financial planning and fiduciary services are offered by Wealthcare.com Inc., a Pennsylvania-based investment advisor. Tax-free refers to federal income tax treatment only and may not apply to state, local, or specialized taxes. Tax impact varies by individual and should be considered before transactions. Case studies are hypothetical and do not guarantee results. Recommendations are based on each client's unique data. Wealthcare and Bruce Smith are not affiliated with the Social Security Administration or any government agency. All content is informational and should not be used for financial decisions. Unauthorized use is prohibited.